except I just closed on my brand new house. Boom! So that's pretty exciting. That kind of woke me up just now realizing that. I guess I forgot. Let's see. I got my cardio in this morning. It was not fasted. I don't feel bad about that. I was starving to death when I woke up. It needed to happen. So I ate my breakfast. Then I went to the gym and I got my cardio and I split up my leg days between quads and glute hams. And so I did my glute ham leg day today. So having cardio after that is no fun at all. Just throwing that out there. Anyway, just wanted to talk to you guys about having to go to occasions where people are eating and you've got a goal, so you don't eat what they eat. And I will tell you this is my family has had to grow to get used to that, because my mother, not just my mother, my entire family on her side is very much the caregivers, let me care for you, with delicious food. And as much as I enjoy delicious food, it's kind of something I'm trying to get away from, as far as having my time, instead of enjoying my family, it's more based around this delicious food. And so I'm trying to reset my brain to appreciate the company more so than just the food, because that's what got me in trouble, I believe, in the first place. It's just a let me love you with food type of deal. My father passed away when I was 5 years old, and we were, very poor. We're still, not rich by any means, but we're definitely in a better place now than we were. And my mother was an awesome caregiver, and she mothered two girls singly. She was still pregnant when my father passed away. She was pregnant with my sister. So she, because of her wonderful cooking abilities, she cared for us and loved us by giving us things. We were, she wanted to provide everything that she never had, or that they struggled to have, and so we were always given. Christmas was always ridiculous, as far as how many toys and things we got. We never, we always had nice clean clothes, and my mother's a really big shoe lady, so we had nice shoes, and we always never had holes in our clothes, never had shoes that had holes, or anything like that. And we were always very, 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 very well fed. And she made sure of that. And she is, like I said, an amazing mother. But I did grow up with a very unhealthy mindset as far as food goes. And I just ate and ate and ate and ate and ate. And exercise was not an important thing. And so by the time I was kindergarten, I was well overweight. By the time I was in third grade, I was 120 pounds. Let's just set this in perspective here. I was 120 pounds in third grade. Right now, at 5'4" and 39 years of age, I'm sitting at about 160. high school, I was well over 200 pounds. By the time I was married, I mean, Lord Jesus, I was, good grief, pushing 250, I'm sure. By the time I was pregnant, it was 285, and that was 9 years ago. And so when I started my journey, I was at 285. Anyway, food is a really big topic, and even now, I mean, my brain is just fixated. It's really difficult for me to say no to a lot of stuff. Not just food, but to a lot of things. I mean, if it's given to me, then it's really hard for me to say no to it. And so for me to have to tell myself no when all these delicious things are set in front of me, especially sweets right now, it's really, really difficult to say no. I just have to say no. And in my brain, I'm saying to myself what my coach has been telling me this whole time. You know, the food will always be there. It's not going anywhere. It's not like you've got a boyfriend or a girlfriend that's waiting for you to show up. No. And if you don't show up, they're just going to take off. No. Well, if you don't eat the food, if you aren't going to this Domino's, you know, and having a pizza right now, it'll still be there years to come from now. So you're not really missing out on anything. You're just choosing at the moment not to have something that you want in return for something that you've wanted for a very long time. And so I have to continually remind myself of that. The food will always be there. The food will always be there. And me being a baker, a cake baker, is what I do. I bake delicious cakes and cookies. It's what I do. And it's fun. You know, I decorate and do the cookies, and I make up recipes, and for me it's a lot of fun. But at the same time, it's very difficult sometimes to push past that. And I tell a lot of people jokingly, you know, they'll ask me, how do you even do that? Well, how I do it is, I don't make it usually unless somebody buys it. It's not in the house continuously. It's not sitting around on the countertops, you know, that don't happen. Because if it were like that, I don't deal well with food just sitting out. If there is food sitting out, it doesn't even hardly matter what it is. If it's out, that means that it's there for the taking, and that I need to go eat it. That's what my brain, you know, says. It almost, and it's weird, it almost physically calls to me. And I don't know how to explain that, except for that, I mean, I can't turn it off in my head to forget that there's food sitting out on the table. Like, I can't just turn that off. Let me just not think about that. Well, no, that doesn't happen for me. And so what I have to do is avoid circumstances like that. You know, it's the same with buffet type situations. I am not going to eat healthfully at a buffet. I don't know anybody that really can, except for maybe older folks. I don't know. But if the food is sitting there, if there's a ton of it, if there are lots of choices, I'm going to eat all of it. And I don't even care. So my brain just goes on overdrive. There are triggers. I'll go over to my mother's house and I feel very comforted over there, and I feel very loved, safe, comfortable, happy, relaxed when I go over there. mother and my father are different than me. They can have food sitting out. They can have cookies and stuff sitting out on the table, sitting in the refrigerator. They can have ginormous jars of peanut butter, like the economy size jars of peanut butter. Like, that does not bother them. But it bothers me. So I have to circumvent situations. Sometimes I have to avoid them. I mean, if I'm having a day where my brain is just haywire, I mean, it's not turning off as far as food goes, I have to avoid certain circumstances. There are some times that I would like to be with people, but I know that I can't, because I know that they're in places that are going to trigger me to eat stuff that is not okay. You know, it's going to be counterproductive to my goals. So I have to avoid those circumstances. There have been birthday parties, and there have been weddings, and there have been, going out to eat, type of things with family and friends that I've just had to avoid, because I can't, some days I cannot control myself. Usually I can. Usually I can just, well, there's the food. Yeah, I just have to, avoid it. I just have to talk to myself in my brain all night long about how, I have goals, and it's more important that I be with my family and friends than eat the food, and this is about family and friends, and blah, 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 blah. Well, right now is not one of those times. It's just not. I've got... Right now, I'm sorry, I'm so tired. I'm just tired. 60 grams of complex carbohydrates in the form of rolled oats in the morning. And that is it. And it's been it for 2 weeks now. The rest of it is lean-ass protein, which I love because I can cook it to where it's delicious. I mean, and I don't need a whole bunch of butter and all that stuff, but I know how to make it moist, and I know how to make it taste good. And that's something that I've learned over the years, of cooking my own food. And so the want for things is a lot higher right now than it typically would be if I had a lot more carbohydrates or a lot more fat right now. So when you restrict yourself to just protein,